Aren't we thankful for our great and merciful God who loves us and forgives us and remembers our sin no more? I'm so thankful that his mercies are fresh every day. I need that, and I suspect you do too. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor of Cross Point Church, and if you're looking for a church home, come see us. We're smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison, and check us out at cpcfamily.org.
Are you tired of power outages disrupting your life? It's time for a Generac standby generator from Current Electrical. Storms may rage outside, but inside your family's powered up. So why choose Current Electrical for your generator needs? 1, we offer a wide range of models to suit every budgeted energy requirement. 2, our project managers handle every step of the process: power, gas, permitting, and inspections. 3, our certified technicians install your generator with precision, ensuring peace of mind. Don't wait for the next blackout. Call 256-880-1880 or visit us online at jetsuperstore.com.
At the Huntsville Sports Commission, we do sports. The Rocket City is your destination for world-class sports in North Alabama. The Huntsville Sports Commission brings elite tournaments, championships, and other exciting athletic events to our city. From youth leagues to national championships, we're driving tourism, boosting local business, and building a stronger, more active community. When you team up with us, we'll worry about the details so you don't have to. We do sports.
He's the most interesting man in the NFL.
I had somebody yesterday texting Mike Trout, hey, could the Eagles trade for Micah Parsons? Mike, go back to playing basketball. No, that's not happening.
Did you say that Mike Trout texted you that?
Welcome to Talkin' Ball with Scott Theisen and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
What's wrong? There we go. I didn't touch it. I've not done it. No, it's because it's plugged into the front. It's plugged into the front.
Why did I was here last night and it wasn't even acting up. But Steve was here, so all was well. All is well.
All is well.
No red flag, red flag, red flag.
Do you want me to plug it into the back?
Yes, because it's not gonna. Wow, that was interesting. It's totally dead now, but I heard something for a second. Hey!
There you go.
No static for Baghdad.
There you go.
Now, when Steve comes in here, he just does some Alibaba trick, and then nothing's wrong.
We'll just keep using it because nothing is wrong.
What do you mean? There's duct tape everywhere. It's fine.
If you just hit it just right and stand up with one foot in the air and one arm in the air, it'll work.
Yeah, it'll work.
Anyway, welcome in on a Tuesday morning. Big thanks to Talon Heating and Air for getting us all cranked up in the right direction this morning. 256-503-4490. Those temperatures are going to start getting warm. You're going to need Talon Heating and Air on your side. Give them a call. Find them online, talonhvac.com. Your high today, 85 degrees. It is 68 right now in the Tennessee Valley. Feels like 74, so a little bit of humidity in the air. You might need Talon Heating and Air to take it all out of the air. 256-576-4977. That's how you can find us this morning. And for those that are keeping track, for those that want to know, for the first time since 2008. For the first time since 2008, the ACC will have more super regional teams than the SEC. For the first time since 2008, 5 ACC teams have made it through the super regionals, 4 for the SEC.
It's been a disaster, just to be blunt. I mean, it's not been a very good weekend. Ole Miss finished the Heimlich maneuver
last night.
Yep. Now they fought. I mean, they were down 12-3. They were getting the absolute hell beat out of them, and then they rallied, got within 12-11, had the winning runs on base. I thought they were going to potentially take the lead in the bottom of the 8th. Didn't happen. And in the 8th inning, they weren't able to do that. And then in the 9th, it was strikeout, fly out to center. And for the first time in history, Murray State's made the Super Regional. So this college baseball is insane. And I'll just be honest, it was 10-6 the final last night, but I stayed up late. Little Rock scared the bejesus out of LSU.
No, they scored 5 early in one inning.
5-1.
Yeah.
It went from 1-0 to a 5-1 deficit. And then it was a 6-5 game, and they had base runners, for 2 straight innings late in the 7th and the 8th, and they couldn't get the big hit. I'm just telling you, it was a very, very close baseball game, and it was 6-5, then 7-6, LSU was very lucky to escape.
Yeah.
And Little Rock had a 27-34 record, I think is what they ended up with. If they had gone to the Supers, it would have been at 28-33. The Little Rock Trojans used to be called Arkansas Little Rock, but I'll just be honest with you. It just showed you. I don't want to hear they ain't got enough NIL money to compete with these ball teams. No, shut up. It's not got nothing to do with NIL. It's called coaching and maximizing what the hell you've got. And don't gag and choke.
The SEC gagged and choked
for the most part.
Yeah.
Yes, they choked
things
their
got
ass off.
Surprise here. Things got a little chippy on Rocky Top last night between Wake
When you have
Forest
an
and
asshole as a
Tennessee.
head coach, that's what happens. And yes, I'm saying that on the show.
Oh,
He's human feces. But congratulations to him. Now the softball team lost, so I wasn't disappointed in that. So
Yeah, well,
maybe someday they might win a championship, maybe, but not this year. Another gag for the Vols. See ya. Too bad it wasn't Alabama that sent their ass to the crib like it was last year.
Tennessee gets through. They get by Wake Forest last night. LSU gets through. Now, you mentioned Murray State. The 4th time in 5 years, though, that the Missouri Valley Conference will be represented in a super regional. 2021, Dallas Baptist was a member of the league, so they got in. Indiana State in 23, Evansville last year, and this year, Murray State. So the Missouri Valley Conference don't have a lot of power, but they do find a way to get a team here and there into super regionals.
Well, and you got to keep remembering, too, like all these conference realignment. I had to look up Little Rock, I swear, used to be in the Sun Belt, and they're not anymore, though. They're in the OVC where Murray State used to be.
Right.
So,
Murray State left and then went to the Missouri
and I'll be
Valley.
honest with you, if
like Belmont used to be in the Ohio Valley, but Belmont is now in the Missouri.
1,000 different conferences. I mean, but yes, they were in the OVC.
Now they're in the Missouri Valley.
But I'm just telling you, if all them drunk Cajuns if there had been a swing and a drive last night, which is what I was hoping for, honestly. I was hoping for, the bases loaded and it was 6-5, and I was hoping for a swing and a drive and all these surrender Cobras. But if there had been, I'm just telling you, I was on the phone with a couple of people. It would have been the biggest upset in the history of college baseball, in my opinion. When you're talking about a team with a losing record, and coming out of the loser's bracket, losing the first game to LSU, and then coming back and beating their ass twice in Alex Box Stadium to win a regional, it would have been monumental. But they fell just a little short. Credit to their kids and their coach, though. I mean, they fought their tails off. LSU is the more talented team. They should have won. At least they held up the league a little bit. Hopefully the conference can get 3 or 4 teams through to Omaha, as they'll shove it down the national media's throat, who's just, dancing all over the SEC's grave right now, but we'll see.
We're guaranteed, or shouldn't say we, the SEC is guaranteed one team.
Arkansas.
Into Omaha, Arkansas or Tennessee.
Or the Vomits, yeah.
Yeah, that's the only one. And then Auburn has Coastal. Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so.
And then you got the LSU matchup.
Yeah, you got LSU taking on West Virginia.
Yeah, West Virginia. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And then that's it. So Miami at Louisville, Florida State's going to be at Oregon State, North Carolina's going to host Arizona, Auburn's going to host Coastal Carolina, UCLA will host Texas San Antonio, Duke and Murray State. LSU will host West Virginia, and Arkansas will host Tennessee. Those are your super regional matchups. The SEC, 4 teams there. The ACC, 5. The SEC guaranteed 1.
I'm not surprised.
And the ACC, I'm trying to see. I don't think.
Well, I mean, the ACC was the second best league in the regular season.
They're guaranteed at least 1. Miami and Louisville. That's what I was looking at. They only have 1. So Miami and Louisville. So the ACC is guaranteed 1. The SEC is guaranteed 1.
Well, and if look, Murray State's a hell of a ball club, but if Duke can't beat them to go to the Supers at home, then Duke may never, ever, and they may never go to Omaha.
Does the SEC need to win it at this point to salvage this postseason?
Yes. Otherwise, it's
embarrassing.
One of the biggest puke jobs in history. So, in other words, get your head out your ass. 3 of you get there. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to hear it, especially with how much money LSU spent on their roster. Going around cherry picking. Get your head out your ass. You almost lost to Little Rock and embarrassed yourselves. You better get your asses playing. Because I ain't gonna lie though, what I really wanted was one last T-Bob meltdown. I know he's gone to Barstool, but it would have been epic if they lost to Little Rock because he wouldn't have been able to help himself.
Yeah,
I mean,
and of course, last night the results didn't help the SEC. Some comments from social media again on fire. You just hang around and read social media comments. Not a college baseball guy. Surely the SEC isn't underperforming in another tournament. They got preferential treatment from a selection committee in, right? Because that would be the 3rd time in 3 sports this year. Those were some of the comments from the SEC haters last night on social media.
I'm assuming that they're talking about softball, baseball, and football, I guess.
I guess basketball.
They can't be talking about basketball. They set records.
I guess football, yes, because they underperformed.
Yeah, it's because the SEC didn't win it in football. They won it in basketball and set records for Sweet 16, the Elite 8. If they're making fun of basketball, just give yourself a lobotomy and delete your account because you're an idiot. So, they can't be talking about that. And, of course, I don't think they're talking about women's basketball.
It'd be football, basketball, or football, baseball, and softball, I would imagine. Yeah,
because all the SEC teams, even though there is an SEC team in the finals against Texas Tech, but and look, nobody's crying for Oklahoma. They've won enough. Okay, they won 4 in a row. They had a horseshoe up their ass again last night. Down to their last strike in the bottom of the 7th. Somebody runs into one and they hit it out to tie it. And this time, though, they don't win it. So, they were very fortunate to win last year over Texas, in my opinion. Good for them, though. They've had a great run. They're a dynasty. They are still the best program in the sport. I don't like them, but at the same time, I respect them. But it was time for it to be over with. We'll see if Texas Tech can finish the drill, but Texas has never won it either. And so if Texas does win it, though, it's still an SEC championship. You can talk all you want about, everybody got darn. I didn't. It's still
the Big 12. It's the Big 12 Invitational.
They got 5 through to the World Series as well. And if somebody wins it, that's not underachieving, you morons. What that's called is democratic thinking. Well, God almighty, they might not win it. They might not win it. They might not win it. Please don't let them win it. That's all they're sitting there doing, I got this tweet ready. I got it ready. I'm ready to send it. The French Open's going on, jackasses. Go cover it. And leave the country.
It is going on, isn't it? That's where we saw that giant croissant yesterday.
Exactly. Love Eddie Jake. Sorry, but don't give a rat's what about the damn French Open. Go cover it, somebody. Stupid liberal turds.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my. We've only just begun. 7:11, 7:13 here on a Tuesday morning. 256-576-4977. That's the number to the phone lines. You can join us until 9 a.m. this morning. Got to get our first break in. When we come back, college football news and notes. College Football Hall of Fame ballot bought out yesterday. Several big-time names on it. Joel Klatt doesn't take a shot at the SEC. And college football's most hated and toxic fan bases. Do you know who's number one?
Notre Dame for me.
We'll fill you in next.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Tom Luganville here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Hi, folks. Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, inviting you to come test drive any one of our over 100 F-150s. From rock-solid, dependable work trucks to our state-of-the-art Platinum Series, we've got an F-150 for you. Test drive one today, and you'll understand why the F-150 is the best-selling truck in America, going on 48 years in a row. Just as successful offenses and defenses are built on teamwork, Woody Anderson Ford is powered by our people. Our sales and service teams are well-trained to save you time and money. And because we want your business again and again, no one will work harder to earn it. Our mobile service teams come to your home or business for oil changes, brake work, tire rotations, and more. And the great thing is you don't pay extra for it. We come to you with mobile service at no extra charge. Proud to be local, family-owned, and at your service for over 62 years. Woody Anderson Ford, Alabama's F-150 Superstore.
The Braves roll into the 2025 season with a singular focus. Bring home the division title and remind the league what Atlanta is all about.
Swung on, driven to left center field and deep. That baby's out of here. Austin Riley. 3-0 to Olsen, and he powers one. Deep right center field to the wall. It's going to fly. It's a home run. Back-to-back homers.
97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Is your financial advisor offering you up to a 30% upfront bonus? Are they promising you up to 10% growth per year guaranteed for your retirement income? If not, you need a new financial advisor. I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. If you plan to retire within the next 10 years, don't wait only to find out it's too late. I've seen hardworking folks like you retire only to be required to go back to work, all because their advisor told them guarantees like these were too good to be true. They're not. That's up to $30,000 up front or up to $10,000 per year on $100,000, all guaranteed for retirement income. Don't work when you're supposed to be retired. If any financial advisor tells you it's too good to be true, they simply don't have the options we do. Call Trajan today, 256-208-9000, 256-208-9000.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor.
Tom Abraham here for my friends at Your Home Window Company. When it comes to replacement windows, exterior doors, or new window screens, Your Home Window is the answer anywhere in Huntsville, Athens, Decatur, or Hartselle. Your Home Window windows and doors are made here in the USA and come with a lifetime warranty. When replacing those old windows or doors, Your Home Window has the solution for you. In-home estimates are always free and financing is available. Learn more at yourhomewindow.com and see clearly with Your Home Window. Visit yourhomewindow.com to make an appointment today.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
A wise man once said, if you take care of old folks and children, everything in the middle will take care of itself.
Hi, I'm Danny Aldridge, lawyer in Alabama and Tennessee. In the next 20 years, the number of those folks over 65 years of age will more than double. In our golden years, the most important goal is to be treated with dignity and have control over doing what makes you grateful with those you love. At the Aldridge Law Firm and the Legal Town Center, we're dedicated to help you with these goals, and we'll be there when life throws you those inevitable curveballs. Let us assist you with your legal needs, whatever they may be or become. You may reach us by phone at 256-534-3188 or online with Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Just remember, we're here to help. Whether it's personal injury, wrongful death, fraud and cheat, or estate planning made complete, we're here to help.
The Tom Abraham Show. Weekdays beginning at noon on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone, and WZZN TV.
Welcome back to Talking Ball 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Scott Tyson, Drew DeArmond. Tuesday morning. It is upon us. Bryan Matthews, top of the hour. Steve Robertson, bottom of the 8:30. Those are the guests we've got coming up for you today. 256-576-4977. The phone lines for you to join us if you would like. And let's visit with Bama Bino real fast.
What's up, Bama Bino? How you doing, sir?
Hey, guys.
Hope you had a good Memorial Day weekend. How you doing, man?
We're doing all right. You didn't mention me. I'm coming up.
That's what I said. Let's visit with Bama Bino.
Yeah, we mentioned you.
Nah, guys, I hadn't hollered at you in a while, and just because it's not football season or tournament time in basketball don't mean I ain't listening.
Oh, yeah, it's never bad to bash a liberal.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna go there, but everybody knows that I think it anyway. But I love this time of year too. It's not really a dead time towards the end of regular season in college baseball. I love the pageantry and the camaraderie of a great sport with super regional, SEC tournament, and then you got your college baseball playoff, tournament and all. It's just I always pull for. I like finding me an SEC Cinderella or underdog, and following them and look at the fan bases and just the great atmosphere of American sport. And I don't know, who do you think SEC wise has a chance?
Well, as far as baseball goes, if you're wondering about that, I mean, certainly I know we let off the show talking about how they struggle, but if LSU, locks in and plays a little cleaner and can pitch and stay in the winner's bracket, they certainly are talented enough. I think
the Auburn Tigers are playing good baseball right now.
Yep, they've got a chance to win their first and make a third trip under Butch Thompson. Now they got to beat I'm not discounting. They got to play a really good Coastal Carolina team. You can't minimize what they've done, and they've won a national championship in the past. And after you see what Murray State does at Ole Miss, what Little Rock almost did at LSU, what all these mid-major supposed programs did in this tournament, you can't discount what Coastal. So it'll be Auburn's first chance to host a Super Regional, which is great. They had tremendous crowds, 9,000 folks as Auburn ran through that regional undefeated. And so should be an electric atmosphere starting on Friday against Coastal. So like Scott said, they've got a chance. Arkansas under Dave Van Horn is coming out away from winning it. They're on the very short list. I would say at the top of the list is Arkansas and Florida State as far as teams, and both of them are still alive, that are the best programs to never win it, that you haven't seen knock the door down. So certainly Arkansas, Bama Bino has a chance. Tennessee, they're the defending champs till somebody knocks them out. Please, somebody knock them out. But again, they have
you said that
Arkansas
still in it, right?
Yes,
So
LSU, Arkansas, Auburn, and Tennessee are all still alive. They took care of business at least and didn't embarrass the conference in postseason like the majority of the other 9 did.
Well, I'm Bama, of course, but I've got a lot of friends that had kids go to Auburn, and I've had a lot of good friends too. And I'll pull for Auburn, until as long as they're winning, and then probably LSU after that. Because, like I say, I was a transplant Cajun for a while. I worked down there,
right?
And listen, they take pride in their baseball too.
Oh, there's no question.
They call it going to the box, Alex Box Stadium, and
that's right.
Before all of these other donations and all of these funds from rich people started adding to facilities, they had a super updated facility before a lot of these non-private schools did. And they really take pride in it. And it's really a great atmosphere down there. I know I don't like some of the things Orgeron said in the locker room, but I'm gonna tell you something. Those LSU people treated me right, I had a Chevy truck with a 4-wheel drive with a Bama Beano tag, university tag, personalized, and a Bama Boulevard thing with an elephant on my truck box. So they knew where I was from. And they had pulled my leg some, but they treated me good, and it was good money and great food and good camaraderie, and they're good people too. But just wanted to let you know, so we're in Super Regionals, and
yes, sir.
Whoever advances from that, how far is it to the World Series?
That's where you go to Omaha.
You got to get 2 wins.
Yeah, 2 wins.
2 wins. That's all you got to get from here.
So LSU wins twice they're in. Arkansas wins twice they're in.
Or Tennessee, because Arkansas and Tennessee are playing
Auburn,
each other.
Tennessee, yep.
So at least the SEC will have one, as Scott said, one. And if it's only one, that's one of the biggest gag jobs. And
would be good to have Auburn and
history
LSU.
athletics.
I see that.
Yeah.
Auburn and LSU. So I'll be watching and just letting you know, guys, great show, and appreciate y'all doing hard work to keep us informed.
Thanks,
Bama Bino.
Yeah, I mean, I still think they can get 2 to 3 teams through. We'll see. I even though Coastal's really, really good, I do like Auburn's chances at home. I think they're playing outstanding. I will take Arkansas over Tennessee in Baum Stadium, but the Vols are very talented. They exploded last night. They were in early afternoon into last night. They were, losing 2-1 before you knew it was 8-2. I mean, they have an exceptional offense, and they've got Liam Doyle, outstanding left-hander. So Tennessee's going to be tough, no doubt about that. And then LSU, I like LSU's chances in the box. But, again, you got to be a little nervous because they did not play great in this regional, and at least the last couple games. Now, they ran through the first 2 opponents, including Little Rock, I believe, in the first game. But it's just all of a sudden they struggled a little bit. But baseball is a funny deal. So
it is. Sometimes you're not locked in sometimes, and you never know.
That's all that matters.
All right, so we teased it about the most toxic fan bases in college football.
Right.
And it's kind of funny. It's kind of interesting because let's see here. I got to make sure I get it right. Elite College Football. They went and ranked the most toxic fan bases in college football on a scale of 1 to 10. The most toxic fan base, the most toxic fans in college football belong to 10 out of 10, the Ohio State Buckeyes.
Yeah. There you go. That sucks.
Number 2 on this list, the Florida Gators.
Interesting.
They got an 8.9 out of 10.
I mean, they've been bad for a while.
Number 3, the Georgia Bulldogs.
Well, they've been good, so that makes sense.
Number 4, this might be a surprise.
Yeah.
The Colorado Buffaloes.
Puff, puff, pass. I mean, I said this on the drive last night. Talking about, with Daddy Ball being out the door.
Right.
Because, Shador's gone, Shiloh's gone, and then the best player in the country. And he was the best player. I mean, Travis Hunter. I mean,
but are they the most toxic fan? I mean, are they one of the top 4?
I don't know about
That's
that.
Crazy.
But I was asked if is it going to be better or worse because they went 9-4 last year. They still they improved and they had a good team. That should have had some merit for maybe being Sportsman of the Year, not going 4-8 after being 1-11 when you're woke or broke. But anyway, I was
maybe
asked,
it's because they won too fast, or they haven't won anything, but yet the fan base is acting like they have won.
Man, about 5, 6, 7 years ago, they had a bowl team and won some games. They act like Deion's first one to win. I mean, Bill McCarty won the friggin' national championship.
Yeah.
And had great players, and they act like Deion's first one to ever solve any kind of riddle at Colorado. I mean, and I was asked, is it going to be better or worse? I think it's going to be worse. I think they're going to go back to missing a bowl game like they did in year 1. I don't think they're going to be very good. I mean, they look, the last 2 years they haven't been good up front. And I'm talking about on the offensive or defensive lines. And now Shador's not there to bail them out. Now they have Caden Salter, transfer from Liberty, who washed out at Tennessee. And then they have Juju Lewis, 5-star. Some people think Juju will be the quarterback. Well, he better be Houdini if with the way they block. And so they haven't been real good on defense. They haven't been able to run the football. They've been very one-dimensional. You don't have Travis Hunter. You lost most of your wide receiver core. And I don't really know how locked in Dion is. So I'm not.
Says he is. Says he's committed.
He's committed to saying his son's not a jackass is all he's committed to doing, and which is a bunch of bull crap. But anyway, I mean, but I think they're probably headed, I would say 5-7, something like that, 4-8 again. But I don't think they're going to win 8 or 9 and be a contender in the Big 12. I think they're going to stink.
Number 5 on this most toxic fan base list is Miami. They got an 8.3 out of 10. Number 6, another SEC school, Tennessee, 8.2 out of 10.
Hadn't won anything since 1998.
But they beat Alabama
2 out of 3 times. Both were flukes, but it is what it is. I got Tennessee fans in my mentions talking about it's destiny. They've already won this year, and they haven't won in Bryant-Denny Stadium since their kids was born. So most of them, I mean, we're talking 20 plus years. These kids don't even know what that looks like. They, that 03 game, it's grainy, real grainy. The last time they won because Mike Shula couldn't make a 1st and 2. Show you how good a coach he was.
Number 7 on this list, they've won 500 national championships.
Texas Longhorns, right?
How did you know?
Well, you said 500 national championships.
They've already won 3 this morning.
All right. I'm sure they're already planning the parade for the softball team, and maybe they'll finally win it. They've come close a few times.
Number 8 on the list with a 7.6 is the Alabama Crimson Tide.
I figured Alabama was here somewhere, but Alabama's got the trophy case. They can brag if they want to.
Number 9, 6 out of 6.9. It's a big drop from 8 to 9. Alabama 7.6. Florida State 6.9 out of 10. Florida State is number 9. And then number 10 on this list, and that's they only list the top 10, is Michigan. Michigan comes in at number 10.
So my number 1 wasn't even on the list.
Your number 1 wasn't even on the list.
I refer to them as 1988 because it's nearly been 40 years.
Right.
So, but I mean,
are you shocked Notre Dame is not inside this top 10 as far as fan bases go?
I mean, they have made a couple runs. Like 2012, they scrimmaged Alabama in the national championship game and got shellacked.
Right, but unlike
2020
Texas
playoffs, they got shellacked, and then this year they made another. So they've made about 3 strong runs. They made a strong run this year and got beat. So,
but Texas though, Texas's fan base, they win 1 game, and it's like we are back. We're powers. We're whatever. I am shocked Nebraska's not on this list.
Oh, I'm not surprised. They have great fans still, but you have to understand
but they win 4 or 5 games, then they're clamoring, "Hey!"
I think they understand right now. They're
not.
They got a ways to go.
Well,
I mean, Tom Osborne. I mean, it's been a minute, and they haven't since Coach Solich was forced out and ended up, being the best coach in the history of Ohio football.
Right.
He with the stadium named after him, they have not been a national factor. I mean, they haven't. I mean, that Bo Pelini won 9 a couple of times, but you think about it, they've been in the Big Ten now, 20 years, I guess.
Yeah, it's hard to believe
that was Coach Osborne's idea, and it's been not good.
It's not been fruitful.
No, they have not been a national factor in the Little 10. So right now Notre Dame and Nebraska are a lot alike. Just simply because, but at least Notre Dame's had 3 years in the recent past, 12, like I said, 20, and then this past year where they were in the national spotlight and competing for a championship. Thank goodness they didn't win it, because the national media would be insufferable talking about how unstoppable Notre Dame is, but they didn't win it. But Nebraska hasn't even come close to that. I mean, they were all excited when they a couple years ago, didn't they win a game or no? Or did they beat They beat Northwestern? Did Northwestern beat them? They was playing in Ireland or something.
I forget. No, who won that one?
It was bad. It was 2 bad teams playing each other. I was thinking Nebraska won the game, but They have not been a national factor. And trust me, at the time, and we'll still see if it ends up being, I thought that hiring Matt Rule was about the best they could do. Like he's won at Temple. He did a really good job at Baylor. I was like, maybe he can finally make them a factor in the Big Ten after not doing great in the NFL. But I don't know, man. It's just right now it's pretty weak.
All right, we got to get a break in. 256-576-4977. When we come back, not Barrett Sallee.
He works for the Braves.
He does. And
the Braves suck all of a sudden.
Well, we've got Braves news as well, but Joel Klatt also talked college football. So we got both to talk about when we return.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. Your Fox 54 weather brought to you by Tellini's Italiano.
A warm and muggy night across the North Alabama, southern Middle Tennessee. Temperatures dropping into the mid and upper 60s. A mostly to partly sunny sky Wednesday afternoon. Once again, climbing into the mid and upper 80s. A rogue showers possible. Most of us are dry. A mostly to partly sunny sky for your Thursday. Once again, temperatures climbing into the mid 80s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Your Fox 54 weather only on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
This is Steve Moulton for Tellini's Italiano. Tellini's Italiano is located right in front of the Walmart, right off of University, behind the McDonald's. More or less catty corner from Topgolf. It's one of my favorite places to go to, and if you go there, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, you need to try the baked spaghetti, add a meatball. Also try the baked ziti with meat sauce, add sausage. You'll thank me. Save room for some pizzas and paninis as well. And don't forget about dessert as well. The best cheesecake I have had here in North Alabama is at Tellini's Italiano. Find out for yourself today. That's Tellini's Italiano, right off of University Drive in front of the Walmart. Located online at Tellinis.com. That's TELLINIS.com. Let's get some Tellini's tonight.
Forgiveness. Wow, what a word. What a gift. All of us have done things in our lives that we regret. All of us have done things that are disobedient. All of us have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. Thank God for his forgiveness. Thank God that he separates our sins as far as the east is from the west and remembers them no more. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor at Cross Point Church, smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison. Check us out at cpcfamily.org.
John Abraham here from The Blitz. Look, I love a good party. So why not join me on June 27th at Bobcat of Huntsville as we celebrate their new location on Highway 20 in Madison, right beside Redstone Harley-Davidson. I recently got to check out their massive 13,000 square foot location, and I was amazed. Skid steers, excavators, mini backhoes, you name it. But don't just take my word for it. Come on down to Bobcat of Huntsville and enjoy the day from 10 to 3 p.m. Food, fun, and a whole lot of door prizes will be available. So don't miss out as the Blitz will be live on location June 27th. I'll see you there.
Hold your block until the whistle blows.
From SEC Media Days to the National Championship game.
This was a great team win.
We are 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
All right, so we ended that segment there talking about college football, and let's go back to that college football thing. We got Braves to talk about as well this morning. We got other college football. We do. But Joel Klatt, okay, so everybody is wanting this everybody is, because the SEC started all this at their SEC spring meetings.
Yeah.
And everybody just keeps putting logs on the fire, so to speak. because it's not going away, because the Big 12 just got done, or they're in the middle of having their spring meetings, and they are not as eventful, folks, as what went on in Destin last week. Not even close to being eventful. People are calling what the SEC did just a week of propaganda, just putting out stuff because they haven't won anything in a while. Type of situation.
2 whole years, they ain't won nothing. So they're putting out a bunch of propaganda is what they're doing.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's what people are saying, because they're
dumbasses that wouldn't know a football from a basketball. That's why they're saying it.
Here's what Joel Klatt had to say yesterday is in regards to the college football playoff format and the Southeastern Conference.
Now, listen, I'm not here to take shots at clearly what was the deepest conference a year ago. I'm not here to do that. I'm not even going to take shots at the SEC, even though it could be easy to do that. They're a league that refuses to play a 9th conference game. So they play 8 conference games. They play cupcakes in November, and then they scream at us that their regular season is so much more grueling. Now, listen, for some, that is the case, because in the large conference model, you have imbalances across schedule within conferences. So Florida and Oklahoma played a horrific schedule last year. Georgia played a horrific schedule last year. I'll absolutely give you that. But you can't say that across the board. You just can't. And by the way, is this what we're going to do? Are we going to sit here and just be in full propaganda mode? I, for one, don't want to be in that mode. I would rather us start to define criteria a little bit more clearly for the fan bases, for the players, for the coaches, for everybody involved. Take the sport out of the boardroom. I'm so tired of the boardroom. Can't even handle that. Now, the Big Ten did have their spring media days. It was the week prior here in California. They did not hand out a packet, but I quickly, just with the history of what the SEC has formally argued, I quickly put together a Big Ten propaganda packet, for all of you. And this is what it would look like. Jim Harbaugh with a national championship trophy and Ryan Day with a national championship trophy. So there's the Big Ten's, their analytics. In terms of their propaganda packet for the 5-11 model.
So he's making fun of the SEC for handing out a propaganda packet last week, saying that he's not going to take a shot at the SEC, but he does by saying the Big Ten's propaganda packet would be 2 national championship trophies in a row.
Well, of course it would, because it had been a while since they had won one. 2014, I believe. Before Michigan and then Ohio State won it. So, and they won them. They were the 2 best teams. I never said that. Now, they weren't the best conference during the regular season, but they had the best team. But that doesn't mean you have the best league. And look, man, there's a lot of teams. Alabama plays a difficult schedule. Alabama played a difficult schedule last year. They're playing a difficult one this year. They're definitely playing. And again, I'm not. I want them to play 9 regular SEC games. I don't mind that. I mean, right now, the SEC is kind of going back to and sticking to the 8 because again, what they saw as an injustice with the selection situation last year. But what I'll tell Joel Klatt, he keeps saying, take it out of the boardroom, take it out of the boardroom. Well, you know how you take it out of the boardroom, you buffoon. You actually do a strength of schedule. And before you open your mouth, don't tell me that Indiana had a great strength of schedule or SMU had a great strength of schedule. Now, I'm not going to say Boise State because you have one group of 5 that's going to be in there. Just one. Get their ass beat every time. This is not college baseball. You're going to get your ass pounded every freaking time. You will never ever win it. You might win one game, but then you will get pounded by 28 by somebody that's got a lot better players than you, because that's the way football is. It's a money big boy sport. Okay. And then Arizona State, I don't have a problem with it. They won the Big 12. I mean, you're in there. You won your way in. You're representative for your league. That's fine. And they won a game. They had a good run. Okay. Salute. Arizona State's a good team. Good. Dillingham, they weren't even predicted to be in the top half of that league, but they were good. So I have no problem with that. But I have a problem when you have multiple bids when your teams just don't match up. I'm sorry, that's a fact.
Did the SEC though need to do what it did in Destin and basically try to prop up how good the conference was? Did they really need to do that last week?
Well, I mean, what they needed to do, and I think the main mission was to have a strength of schedule component. That's
right.
That's what needs to happen.
Right.
They've got
did that get just misled then by the propaganda stuff that was put out?
Well, of course, they're going to try to be evasive and not to come up with the real issue, because you want to say take it out of the boardroom. Well, college baseball and softball and, and college basketball, they all have a strength of schedule component and an RPI.
Right.
And there needs to start being one. Not just, well, they played so hard. And didn't you think that Clemson SMU game was such a great football game? I made that 56-yard field goal to beat them. And then both them sad sacks are going to go into the playoffs and get their ass beat. And I mean, I don't have a problem with Clemson being in it.
Right.
They won the game. If SMU had held on and not choked, I would have had no problem,
because they would have won the conference.
They would have won the league.
Yes,
they're both going to get smashed when they get to the playoffs, because if anybody watched college football during the rest of the season, notice Joel Klatt didn't bring up the fact that Georgia had a hell of a scrimmage against Clemson in that first game. When they beat them 31-3, and they had their third stringers in there, and at the start of the fourth quarter, still beating the ever-loving snot out of Clemson. But I mean, that's just the way it is. I mean, the SEC, no, they didn't win it. I think injuries had a lot to do with that with Georgia. I don't think Georgia still would have won it, though. I think Ohio State was the best team. I have no problem saying that. I mean, and they saved America a lot of grief for beating the hell out of Tennessee. That was joy. and sending Nico Iamale overrated into the transfer.
Into the abyss.
Right.
Going to UCLA.
Now he's going in the worst state in America, in California. And of course, that's where the Big Ten would take their meetings now.
I did not know that's where they had their spring meetings.
I don't give a rat's crap, to be honest with you. I don't care what the Big Ten's doing. All I care about is the SEC, because the rest of the leagues don't compare. I don't care if they didn't win it for 2 whole years. You know what I'm saying? I didn't won anything for a while. It's just been 600 days.
Hell,
or 700, I'm sorry, whatever.
365, 365.
Whatever. No.
I mean, 720 days.
Yeah,
right?
720
days.
Whole days. Like, I would ask these big teams, when's the last time you won the basketball national championship? I mean, good Lord.
I don't even think they would remember. I don't even think they would remember that it was
gray hair back then, bro.
In case you are wondering, 81 days, 4 hours, 13 minutes, and 31 seconds until we start the college football season. Just in case you are wondering.
Right.
Since we're talking about days and time and all that other stuff.
Right.
I just thought we'd give the official clock for the start of the college football season. All right. 746. Boy, the SEC better win it this year, though. They better win it. They don't want to go 3 whole years without winning it.
Yeah, 3 whole years. Alabama's going 5 whole years. People talk about the dynasty's dead and all that stuff. And then, like I said, won't bring up Notre Dame. It's nearly been 40 years. I mean, Pat Porter didn't even have kids back then, probably.
I don't think he did. I'm going to assume he did not. Let's get a break in. When we come back, we can either go baseball or football. We'll pick one of the two. Talkin Ball 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to Talkin Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Eagle Masonry and Installation. It's right there in the name. Eagle is your one-stop shop for block, stone, or brickwork, monument signs, and outdoor kitchens and fireplaces. Eagle also offers the finest craftsmanship and insulation, including fiberglass or spray foam insulation, and of course, insulation removal. Philip Love and his team have years of experience, bringing the region the best in masonry and insulation services. For more information and a quote, visit insulatewitheagle.com or call 256-755-1556. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Hey there, everybody. Bob Baumhauer here, letting you know that we understand that times are tough and we truly believe value matters. So, by popular demand, we brought back our Inflation Bites menu featuring scratch-made meals that will make the whole family smile and your wallet, too. Menu items start at just $7.99, and any entree comes with a free beverage. Try our classic tailgate burger for just $8.99 or our hearty Bam Bam chicken platter for $9.99. Baumhauer's Victory Grill. Legendary fun, legendary food.
Hey folks, this is Arthur Seaton, managing partner at University Kia, proudly saying Roll Tide and War Eagle. Stop into University Kia today and shop one of the area's largest selection of new Kias, including Fortes, Seltos, Telluride, and Popular Carnival, and fully electric EV6. View all the great specials at universitykia.com and get pre-approved in minutes so you can drive home your new Kia you really want, because we want to see you in a University Kia.
You don't have to go somewhere else just so you can go somewhere new. Plan your next vacation with Huntsville International Airport and Breeze Airways. Enjoy friendly, convenient, nonstop travel to some of the most exciting destinations in the U.S., including the home of 12 world-famous theme parks, Orlando, Florida. With flights starting as low as just $49, Breeze has got you covered with easy, breezy, nonstop flights to Orlando. Make all their dreams come true. Book nonstop to Orlando now at flybreeze.com.
Since 1983, Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate's Ann Adams has been your local go-to real estate expert in the area. As a buyer, you can trust Ann's in-depth knowledge of the local housing market to narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in, saving you time when shopping for a new home. When you're ready to sell, Ann's expert negotiation skills will ensure you get a fair price and hassle-free experience. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or email annadamsrise@gmail.com.
This segment of Talkin' Ball is brought to you by University Kia, the #1 volume Kia dealer in the state of Alabama, located online at universitykia.com.
Get a colonoscopy
we were talking. No. So I got home the other day. And there was this box on my porch.
And it said Cologuard on it, didn't it?
No. And so I had gotten, I was expecting.
Well, it was just a plain box.
I was expecting a box. Yes,
Right.
I was expecting a box from
Right.
another place.
Yeah.
Okay. I was expecting some pickleball stuff to be coming to the house.
Gotcha.
And I thought it was there, but I thought that's a rather unusual box for what I ordered.
For pickleball.
So I was like, what is this?
Right.
And I open it up and it's a Cologuard.
Yeah. I had to do the same thing. I was like,
I was like, what the
thought
hell?
It was a mistake.
No, I did too. I was like, what? Why do I get a Cologuard box on my front porch?
Yeah.
I was like, why do I got to take a dump in a box?
I mean, I had to look in it.
But now I understand
almost
why.
broke the damn thing, because at first I was like trying to, I was trying to mess with it too much, and then I was like, whoa, let me make a phone call. Let me see what this is. So
it was like your healthcare provider provides
I'm
this
looking at
free
the whole
for you.
contraption. I'm like, what in the hell is this? Like, I've never seen anything like this.
I was like, it just showed up on my front porch.
Then I called my dad, and then you realize, well, you're getting older, and they want you to do this for your health concerns.
Yes.
And, here we go.
So I got to fill the box up, and then I got to take it to the FedEx or UPS store and send it off.
Saturday Night Live song that
Dick in a Box?
Oh, here we go. I didn't say it. I did not say it.
I did.
I better not get in trouble for this. I just asked what it was with Timberlake and them, and I did not say it. I'm not getting blamed for it. It wasn't me. That's exactly what it was, though.
That's what it was.
Yeah, instead of the bleep in the box, the dump in the box.
So I got that Cologuard box. So apparently I've got to take
a dump in a box.
Anyway,
Joe and John are young enough. They ain't got to take dumps in boxes yet, bro.
Well, it's free.
Yeah, it is. Your health care.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So that's what we were discussing during the commercial break.
Yeah. I guess maybe you can eat some Dave's hot chicken and then take the dump in the box.
They'd really think something's wrong with you after that.
Oh, I don't know.
Well, see, we need to have, I thought about this yesterday after the show.
Right.
We talked about the one chip challenge, and we might want to pass on that, okay?
It's called Pocky or something, man.
Yeah, we need to pass on that. What if we did the hot chicken challenge?
Well, that could happen.
We get like
we
3
have
or
some
4
things cooking, as they say.
Well, we get 3 or 4 of the best chicken places in town.
Or even Dave's hot chicken.
Right, but we get them to bring us their hot chicken here.
I am not eating the extra hot honey chicken again from Jersey Mike's. Love Jersey Mike's, love their sandwiches, but I'm not eating that one.
We get 3 or 4 of the best chicken places in town to bring us their hot chicken, and then we try their hot chicken on air. Which one is the best?
Yeah.
I mean, there's wing places in town. Bo's Best Wings. I am sure, we are on their wall of whatever there at Bo's Best Wings.
So
our picture is.
Yeah.
We could get Bo's Best Wings. We could get whatever. They could give us some of their hot wings, hottest wings or whatever.
It'll make you slap your mom. It's good.
Yes.
It wasn't real spicy, but it was good.
But I mean, we could get some of the best chicken places in town to give us their hot chicken and we could try it.
Yeah.
All right. Jason is with us this morning. Good morning, Jason.
Morning. What's up, man?
Hey, how y'all doing this morning?
Pretty good, Jason. How are you, bud?
Great. Hey, I got a great idea for your color guard box, Scott.
There we go.
Bring it with you to play Dirty Santa this Christmas holiday.
Oh, I don't know about that. I mean, unused though, right?
Yeah, unused.
Yeah.
Don't fill it up. Or the old candy check, maybe put your baby Ruth bar in that cup.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I was shocked though. I got home and I was like, what is this box on my front porch? And I was excited. I was like, well, maybe this is what I ordered.
Right.
And I was like, Cola Guard, what is a Cola Guard?
Yeah.
I was like, I didn't
and
order.
Then you see the contraption. That
I was like, I didn't order this. And then it said your healthcare provider. And now I get it. I'm thankful that the healthcare provider sent it to me.
Yeah.
And then my mom was like, my parents visited last week, and mom goes, well, how come you haven't done this yet?
My dad was the same way.
And my dad's like, same way.
Have you not done the Cola Guard
My
yet?
dad was like, you need to get this done. Why have you not done this? And my mom was like, it's very important that you get this done. And I'm like, I just got it.
Well, we just had a vote right here. We had one of our listeners say that, Scott, you should go ahead and take the dump in the box and send it to Joel Klatt.
Or if you have to read a newspaper while you take a dump with your color, just go out in the backyard and read a newspaper and do it.
This is not where I was thinking. This was where we were going to go with this.
Yeah.
Yes.
But we've all got a Color Guard story. You know?
We do. And the only
I got
reason
3 boxes this year.
3?
You got
they expired.
Oh, they expire? I didn't know that.
Yeah, well, then I better get it done.
Well, hell, I kept mine for a few months before I sent it to them. They didn't say a word to me, but
I better get it
I
done.
got email reminders. We still haven't received your Color Guard. So
my daughter has a cat. We got a little. Oh my gosh! I'm going to put the cat poop in there.
Oh goodness!
All right, Jen. Thanks for the
now,
phone
when I was
call.
dog sitting, I had to poop scoop, but I wasn't going to send any of that.
Anyway, that was the package I got on my front porch, the Cola Guard.
Yeah.
Not what I was expecting, but we will get it taken care of.
And I didn't say the Timberlake thing. That wasn't me.
It was a great skit, by the way.
I mean, it was, but I mean, like I said, I somebody will probably call in raising hell. It wasn't me.
Anyway, I guess we could play it. I guess we could play the skit. Anyway, we're going to get this back to civilized conversation.
With Bryan Matthews and Steve Robertson next hour.
Yeah, well, we got some Uncle Keith's red sauce
on
the horizon.
Well, you might use some of that and then take a dump.
Smooth
in the
everything
box.
out. God, hour 1 is done. We will talk something serious in hour 2, I promise. The Atlanta Braves may make you want to go to the bathroom, but
It's been a rough one so far. Maybe like I had the
enema
extra hot chicken.
got to get a break in. Talking Ball 97.7 ESPN Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Drivers who switch to Progressive have an annual savings of nearly $750. Progressive.com.
Braves and Diamondbacks at Truist Park today. Spencer Strider on the mound for the Atlanta Braves, 0-3, a 4.50 ERA. He's another 55 favorite. Zach Gallen for the Diamondbacks, 3-7, a 5.54 ERA, plus 130 on the money line, 8.5 over the total. Auburn and Coastal Carolina will meet in the best of 3 Super Regional Series. The winner of the series moves on to Omaha, Nebraska. Auburn Tigers are the $1.45 series favorite. Coastal Carolina plus 115. The Chanticleers have won 21 consecutive games. They entered the matchup 51-11. Mike Sennett, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
WCZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com.
This hour brought to you by SportsMed Orthopedic and Spine Center. Online at sportsmedalabama.com. Welcome to Talkin' Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
It is hour 2 of Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Scott Tyson, Drew DeArmond. Welcome in. Hour 2 brought to you by SportsMed Orthopedic Surgery and Spine Center, dedicated to providing care that improves lives. 256-881-5151. If you want to experience that SportsMed difference, give SportsMed Orthopedic Surgery and Spine Center a call. Drew DeArmond, just like Elvis, has left the building. He's on his way to do book for summertime basketball. They need stats and bookkeeping for summertime basketball.
Important information.
It is very important. Anyway, he's on his way there. Joe Hunk sitting in for one Drew DeArmond.
What in God's name did I walk into?
The train is off the rails. We've just basically ran it right into a Cologuard box. Anyway, Bryan Matthews, our good buddy from AuburnSports.com, part of the Rivals Network, is with us. And the Auburn Tigers had a fantastic weekend. We previewed it going in. We had Ike Irish on the show on Friday. We had Bryan on earlier in the week. And we said the environment inside Plainsman Park would be spectacular. It indeed was. Over 7,000 on hand for game 1. And Bryan, kind enough to join us via Zoom.
Hey.
Always good to see you, Bryan. Always good to see you.
Great to see you guys. Appreciate you having me on, talking a little bit of college and Auburn sports here.
Yeah, what a kind of relive this for us. What an environment. We knew it would be, but what a environment it was inside Plainsman Park for this regional.
Yeah, over 22,000 for all 3 games for Auburn, which set a series record. Auburn set a bunch of attendance records this season after that expansion, and they keep doing it. But, you know, if you listen to the coaches and players afterwards, they talk about that atmosphere and what a difference it's starting to make. And And I think that is different, right? Pleasant Park's always been a beautiful park, a great place to play baseball, but it hasn't been a tough place for opponents to play necessarily because of the atmosphere. And I think that's definitely changed this year with the expansion, with getting more students in there, with livening things up, some more beer sales and stuff. When the students go in the outfield, you can see they're all bringing their coolers. I'm sure that's not just water in there. It wouldn't be if it was back in the 80s, that's for sure. Yeah, it's been terrific, and it is helping out Auburn. It definitely is.
Was there a point through the season where you started looking around and going, okay, yeah, no, all these changes you just discussed, yeah, it's a little bit different in here now?
Yeah, I'll probably go back to the Alabama and LSU series. Both were pretty wild. Auburn ended up sweeping LSU, had a really competitive series against Alabama. I think they took 2 or 3 there. LeBron, I think, won a game on his own because that kid was so good. Yeah, you could really see it there. It was happening. The players were responding to it. They're getting fired up. If you're watching the games this weekend, when Samuel Dutton came off the mound, and when Andres Alvarez came off the mound after their starts, man, that crowd got up, and it was that roar that you hear sometimes when you're watching Major League Baseball, and you get a pitcher that does really well. It was pretty exciting weekend in Auburn, I thought, and a big step up for the Auburn fan base this weekend.
Well, it was a step up for the fan base, but a step up for the program as well. I mean, you look around college baseball, you look at how many of the top seeds had to struggle this weekend. Some had to go to Monday games to get through. This Auburn team came in, Brian. They took care of business. They locked in. They got it done. They never trailed some close games, but they never trailed at any point in this regional. And how many people probably had Bub Terrell as your MVP on the bingo card?
Batted over 700 with 10 RBIs in 3 games, and just a true freshman. Him and Chris Rembert, Chase Fralick, Andres Alvarez, the Sunday starter. Christian Chatterton, the other freshman, big time contributor this year, would have been the starter Monday if it went to a winner take all game. They all made incredible. They all had really good series, and Christian's been really good for most of this year, especially for a freshman. But I think the big thing in postseason, especially for a postseason like this, I think it's pretty wide open. There's not like a super team this year necessarily in the group. It's just having guys step up. So having Bub Terrell play the best 3 games he's played in college, having Andres Alvarez have the best start of his young career, those are things a team like Auburn, or really any team, needs to keep going through this tournament and having a chance to win.
What about and I know everybody's excited because Auburn basically just rolled through this regional, but I'm still wondering about Cam Tilley. And I know that it's against Ole Miss and Texas A&M, but he's given up 3 and 4 runs the last couple of starts. And I'm just kind of curious, is there something going on there? Why is it? Because now you're in super regional play, and one game is a massive game, no matter who's pitching and who's going to win it. So what's going on with him?
Yeah, I think with Cam, he's got great stuff. He has a bulldog type mentality, but for whatever reason, he just, as soon as he walks a batter, he gets base runners, hits a batter, he just loses focus, I guess is maybe the word, or he just doesn't have command of the strike zone. And once he does that, he kind of falls apart at times. It takes him longer than maybe it should for him to get it back. So I don't think we're going to see him start for Auburn this coming weekend. I don't know exactly what they're going to do Friday. Coastal Carolina is coming in with a 21-game winning streak, hottest team in the country. They've got one of the best pitching staffs in the country. I think their ERA is about 3.25 or something like that, 3.22. And I think that's second in the country right now. And they've got 3 starters that have started every weekend. They've got 2 or 3 relievers that have, sub 2 or 2.5 ERAs. So this is a team that if you're Auburn, you've got to punch them in the mouth right away to kind of slow down that momentum, right? So you don't want a pitcher that's going to go out and give up 5 runs in the first. So I think they're either going to push up Samuel Dutton maybe for a day early. He pitched Saturday. Look to get his form back a little bit. Maybe not as dominant as he was for most of the season, but look better than he did the last 2 weeks. However, he did throw a career high under 5 pitches. So that's a concern there if you want to move him up. Or, step up another guy, maybe Christian Chatterton, who hasn't pitched in a couple of weeks. You give him an opportunity. Maybe you just try to get a bullpen game. You know, you've got some guys like Carson Myers, who's electric coming in for Cam Tilly, but has always been better out of the bullpen than he was as a starter. So get a guy that can give you 2 or 3 innings to start, and then get Carson in there. I think they got some options. I just don't think it'll be Cam Tilly. I think maybe he's better out of the bullpen right now.
Does Alvarez factor into that equation?
Oh, definitely. I just don't think you want to bring him back Friday after throwing on a Sunday for a freshman. But I could be wrong. We're going to discuss that with Butch here in a couple of days. But I think Andreas will definitely be part of that equation Saturday or Sunday this weekend, depending on how long that series goes.
And I know super regionals haven't been a thing since 1999 was when this all changed. But it's so strange to me. This is the first super regional that Auburn has hosted. How is that possible?
They've had a chance to do it twice. One time they were a national seed, and they got beat at home. I think that was Ohio State back in 2003. I sometimes get those mixed up. And then another time, they weren't a top 8 seed, but the region they were attached with, that top seed lost, so they had a chance that they could win. They would have hosted, and they couldn't get it done then. So this is only the second time they've been a top 8 national seed, and this time they took care of business, and Coastal's coming in. But this is going to be a really tough matchup. I think sometimes you get in that football mentality and think Coastal's this group of 4 team or whatever, Sun Belt. But this is a team that won a national championship 9 years ago, and they are a team that is very, very good pitching wise, defense. They've stolen over 100 bases. And they've got some sneaky power, maybe not as much power as an SEC team like Auburn does, but they've got some sneaky powers and could certainly find the gaps with those doubles.
They got by Central Connecticut State, and that was a good start. But I think the key was that second win, keeping them in the winners bracket, and that's where you kind of felt like this Auburn team and this regional. You had a good feeling they could get by the first game, but it was that second game you wanted to see just how locked in they were. How well this team was ready to go. Butch said they would be ready to go. He felt like they were ready to go. And I think that was the case when I think it was Stetson in that second game.
It was. And Stetson was a really good team. I felt like they ran out of pitching there at the end of that NC State game Sunday. But for most of the Auburn Regional, they were very, very competitive, very tough team. And, I thought Auburn did a great job of jumping on their starter early and, getting him, into a little bit of early trouble there. And then, Samuel Dutton just gutted it out, I thought. I didn't think he necessarily had his greatest stuff. He wasn't as efficient as he normally would be when he's really on point, but he got Auburn through, I think it was 5 or 6, which made a really big difference in that game and allowed them to stretch out that lead a little bit late.
With Auburn right now, and I'm looking at an Ike Irish and what he did in that game against NC State. You talked about the atmosphere. I'm curious, what was the loudest moment that's been in that stadium so far, since you're about to wrap up the season? Regardless, it's going to be the last weekend at Plainsman. What was the loudest one? Because that Ike Irish home run when it was 4-0 was massive.
Yeah, that 7-0. Really, I mean that seventh run really made a difference. I thought that 3-run homer he hit, that was incredible. And then I thought Sunday when Alvarez came off the field, that just like I was looking down at my computer writing something. I just heard this roar come up, and I was like, man, wow, that was something else. When he kind of tipped his hat there to the crowd, I thought that was a pretty special moment. And then the final out, of course, late Sunday night was pretty big. But yeah, there were definitely some moments there. I hate that the new press box is kind of out in right field. You don't really experience that atmosphere as much as you would have if you were behind home base where we used to be. But still a terrific weekend at Auburn.
Just another moment though for Butch Thompson to etch his name there in the record books for Auburn.
Yeah, he's done a lot of special things, right? And a great dude. If you ever get to meet him or talk to him, I think he's a beloved coach around the country and around the SEC and within Auburn, of course. And he has just done some really special things at Auburn. 2 College World Series, now the first Super Regional, and the way he was able to bounce back from last year, which was so disappointing, and then get Auburn back in this position again, I think says something about his coaching, and then taking that chance really, because he had the option in the offseason to bring in some more veteran guys to the portal. but he wanted to give these freshmen a chance, and I think that risk really paid off for Auburn. Really, really paid off. Letting Bub and Chase and Chris Rembert have a chance to earn spots in the lineup and really show their talent, and they certainly have this year.
What is it about him? Because, I mean, I know that obviously recruiting in the state of Alabama baseball-wise is a little bit different than the rest of the SEC. How is it that he's continued to be able to put these teams together to get an opportunity to possibly go to the College World Series for like a third time?
Well, before it became more of a transactional decision, right, with NIL.
Yeah.
And, still, if you have a guy with, 3 schools that are offering a similar amount of money, it comes down to relationships. And, I think Butch and, members of his staff are really, really good at just sitting down and talking to you or talking to young men and their parents and making them feel like home. He just has that kind of a personality where you're his best friend as soon as you meet him, kind of, Bruce Pearl has a little bit of that. Bruce Pearl has a lot of that. They're a little bit different in their approach. I would say Butch is a little bit more homespun. He's from Mississippi, right? He talks South really, really good, so to speak. But just a guy with that type of personality, and I think everybody that gets to know Butch really respects and really feels like he's good friends with him just the way he is.
Well, it's going to be an exciting weekend down on the Plains because super regional action, first time in program history. But Brian, it was also a busy weekend for Hugh Freeze and company.
It was,
as they brought in a bunch of big time recruits.
Again, another great recruiting weekend for Auburn, right? And nobody necessarily really noticed because of what's been going on baseball wise, and I think maybe because of the way college football is, June and May recruiting doesn't really excite people as much as it did. But they had a really good quarterback. Landon Duckworth was in. Parker Pritchett's a big old offensive lineman. Ezekiel Harris is a guy committed to Auburn. Bryan Matthews, the Alabama commit. Auburn's trying to make it run at him. Jaquez Wilkes, a really talented edge from right here in state. Anthony Davis, I got to talk to him, a really good linebacker from Buford, I believe, or over there in Georgia for sure. Tyler Green, another talented athlete. So they had a really good group. They got more coming in, I think, starting today. I think they got 3 or 4 coming in. And then I think this weekend it's another around 10 or 12 again. So Auburn's doing a great job of getting these top 100, 5 stars, 4 stars in for official visits. I think it's a little slow right now in Auburn and in some place nationally just because everybody's waiting on the health settlement. They don't know how much they can offer these kids, how much NIL will be available, how much revenue sharing is going to be available until that gets settled and they can sort of start saying, hey, we can offer you this much money. I don't think Auburn's necessarily doing that right now.
What do they do? Like when they bring them in for the summer, what are they doing? Like, because again, school's kind of out. I mean, they're giving them a tour and all that. Do they take them over to Plainsman? Let them just see, like, look, if we get this excited about baseball, just think about how it's going to be when there's 80,000 of these people.
Yeah. And, a lot of these kids, this is the 3rd or 4th time they've been. They can't do some games as sophomores and juniors. Auburn's done a good job of doing that. But, I think getting them over and seeing some baseball and getting a taste of the atmosphere. But I just think it's the regular stuff during a visit. You sit down with those assistant coaches. You sit in their meeting rooms. You watch film with them. You get to know them. You go out to dinner with them and their wives and their families, and try to build that connection, right? It is more transactional now, right? A lot of kids are, what are you going to offer me and how's this compared to everybody else? But if Georgia, Alabama, LSU, and Florida are offering a kid summer money, then that relationship factor can come in a little bit more, how it used to be more so. And that's where a guy like you, Freeze, I think, and a lot of members of Auburn staff can really separate themselves at times with some of these kids.
Well, Brian, great stuff for us. Let us know how everybody can find you and get a hold of some that really good Uncle Keith's red sauce.
Yeah, I appreciate it. And Uncle Keith's is delicious. Try it at Publix, Piggly Wiggly, Renfro's, statewide. You're supporting in-state business. BMAT 15 to get you 15% off that online order. And just give us a follow. AuburnSports.com will be another busy week with football recruiting and baseball and anything else that pops up. We'll be on top of it. AuburnSports.com. Follow me on socials, BMATAU, and appreciate you guys having me on this morning.
And you got should have something coming up for the Monday musings, right?
Oh yeah, yep. Had that talked about the baseball and basketball, and we talked about Natalie Merchant and 10,000 Maniacs this week. If you're interested, check that out at AuburnSports.com.
Thanks, Brian.
Appreciate you guys.
All right. Always good to talk to our good friend Bryan Matthews.
It's definitely no Justin Timberlake and SNL skits, but I mean, hey.
That's right. All right, we got to get a break in. When we come back, Atlanta Braves talk and more college football conversation. We're all going to try doing it here right after this.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Would you call a plumber for a root canal? The same goes for selling your timberland or farm. Choose someone who understands your property and can help you on the front end so you can capitalize on the back end. I am Bo Butler with Southland Realty and Auction. As a guide, I have put many hunters in position to take a shot. It's time for you to take your shot. Let's talk about putting you in position to sell your property. Call me at 256-609-0512. Remember, Bo knows land.
I'm here with Stan McDonald of Jacob Title. Stan, I've heard that every real estate closing at Jacob Title is a very big deal. Why is that?
Wes, I'm reminded of a very impactful statement that I heard from Coach Gene Stallings years ago when he talked about big games and little games. He said he didn't like that comparison. He says, because try losing one of those little games. And if you ever do, it ends up being the biggest game all year long. Well, it's the same thing with real estate closings. Every game, every closing is a very big deal at Jacob Title. Because when it's your closing and your contract on the line, it's a very big deal, and we understand that at Jacob Title.
So it sounds like whether your client is a first-time residential buyer or a multi-million-dollar investor, they can expect your A game.
That's exactly right. As a matter of fact, when you bring your real estate closing to us at Jacob Title, we understand it's all about trust and confidence. And when Stan McDonald tells you that a chicken dips snuff, you can look under his wing for the box.
And like Beaves likes to say, there's no doubt about it.
Is your financial advisor offering you up to a 30% upfront bonus? Are they promising you up to 10% growth per year guaranteed for your retirement income? If not, you need a new financial advisor. I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. If you plan to retire within the next 10 years, don't wait only to find out it's too late. I've seen hardworking folks like you retire only to be required to go back to work, all because their advisor told them guarantees like these were too good to be true. They're not. That's up to $30,000 up front or up to $10,000 per year on $100,000, all guaranteed for retirement income. Don't work when you're supposed to be retired. If any financial advisor tells you it's too good to be true, they simply don't have the options we do. Call Trajan today, 256-208-9000, 256-208-9000.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor.
Normally, when you call a roofing company, all you hear is you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Since 1965, the folks at Fleming have been focused on what you need, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement, commercial or residential. And when it comes to storm damage, you want Fleming on your side. They know all the ins and outs of insurance claims and will guide you through the entire process. Log on FlemingHSV.com and book your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Hey folks, this is Arthur Seaton, managing partner at University Kia, proudly saying Roll Tide and War Eagle. Stop into University Kia today and shop one of the area's largest selection of new Kias, including Fortes, Seltos, Telluride, and Popular Carnival, and fully electric EV6. View all the great specials at universitykia.com and get pre-approved in minutes so you can drive home your new Kia you really want, because we want to see you in a University Kia.
The Blitz with Joe Hunk and John Abraham. Weekday morning starting at 9 a.m. on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Just to show you and let you know, you may never know what you're going to hear on this show.
1,000%.
Never know, because we've said it all in 1 hour.
Take a look inside. It's my box.
Oh, trust me. We're not going to hit the double 3 times in the show.
Not gonna get you a fancy car. You gotta know you're my shining star. Not gonna get you a house in the hills. A girl like you needs something real.
Yes.
It's back, I love the Lord. Something special, girl. It's my
Yes, there you go. That is tribute to our number one of Talking Ball, where we talked about that and Cologuard in the same sentence.
Yeah, it was all within 3 minutes of each other.
Yes.
Talking about things that you put into a box.
Yes.
And then things that you can cut a hole in for a box.
Yes.
And how do you okay, so I'm not there just yet. I've seen the commercials. I know what Cologuard is.
Yes.
At the same time, you said you had to take it to the UPS store.
You do. I haven't done it yet. But that's Drew did. So I showed up one day at my house and it was on my porch. I didn't order it. My doctor ordered it. It was sent to my house.
It's a little gift.
And it was just, yes, a little gift on my front porch.
So how do you just the smell is where I'm curious.
Don't know.
Like, do they put potpourri in the box?
Don't know. It's my box is sitting in my office. I've opened the top of it, not read the instructions, but I have been told by my mom and my father that I need to get it done. Just because you're 51 doesn't mean your parents will stop ever telling you what to do, which is in a good way. This is a good way, by the way. But anyway, yeah, that's how we wrapped up hour number one, talking about the Cologuard box.
I'm looking up right now. I am looking up, by the way, how the smell doesn't get out. I'm really interested in this now. Out of all that, which is the same thing about the Braves.
Yeah, well, that's what we were talking about, and it's like they're crap. They're 4 games under 500. They did not play yesterday, so that means they did not win, nor did they lose. So the question is, because of the news that happened yesterday, and that is former Atlanta Braves manager Freddie Gonzalez is now back in the picture because the Atlanta Braves decided that all of the problems that they were having, despite the pitching injuries, despite not hitting, despite other things that have gone on with the team, the aggressiveness at the third base coaching position was a problem. So they made a change. Did Alex Anthopoulos. They said goodbye to Tuiao Sopo. And they brought in Freddie Gonzalez, who was the third base coach for legendary Braves manager Bobby Cox from 03 to 06 before he went to the Marlins, and then came back as the manager of the Braves, who was let go and then replaced by Brian Snitker, who Brian Snitker was at third base coach for Gwinnett before getting promoted to being a manager. So the problems with the Atlanta Braves are their third base coaching position. So they made a change.
Why do I feel like he's Kevin Steele? Like, why do I feel like this is like Auburn bringing in Kevin Steele behind Malzahn, being like, no, he's here to help. But in reality, it's like, hey, if you screw up, we got the old guy back here.
So there's two questions.
Yeah.
There's 2 questions to this. Number one, the Braves won a World Series title in 2021. That's the last. That was the last one.
That was the last one.
Is the line of equity done with the 2021 World Series championship? And is this just a precursor to Brian Snitker retiring? You bring Freddie Gonzalez in not to replace Brian Snitker, not by any stretch, but you're bringing him in to stabilize the organization until the end of the season. Is this the end for Brian Snitker? Is he going to retire after this year? And this is just a way to put a Band-Aid on it, get through the season, because you're playing with a player that's hurt, by the way, that's got a bad hip. Your pitching rotation has been devastated by injuries. You got Craig Kimbrell at AAA Gwinnett, who they say is going to get called up, but do you even really need to call him up now? I mean, if you call him up, you're 4 games below 500. What are you hoping you're going to get? Is this just a case where Freddie Gonzalez is just in there as a Band-Aid, and this is going to be it for Brian Snitker?
Okay, Snitker is going to be 70 years old if the Braves make the play. I mean, he's going to be there 70 years old regardless.
Right. Yep.
But he's going to be 70 years old in October. if the Braves move on from Snitker, and because like at this point in time, you did not perform the way that you should have last year, even though you had Chris Sale and he won a Cy Young, you go into this season thinking that you should have arguably the number 2 team in the NL. Obviously, you're not going to have the number 1 because of the Dodgers, but Freddie Gonzalez is not the answer as far as to where you would be moving forward.
Right.
He would be the answer as if Snitker was to be let go in the middle of the season. That's where that would be. It would be because
if this trend continues where you're not playing very good, you're 4 games below 500, it bottoms out.
Because right now, and this is going to sound absolutely insane, the way that Major League Baseball is going right now with the managerial position, it would be more on par to have Chipper Jones become your manager next year than what it would for Freddie Gonzalez to get it back, because
Freddie's not going to get it back.
No, he's not getting it back.
He's at third base right now as a Band-Aid. He's there because he was available. It's very hard to replace a third base coach in the middle of the season. Oh, yeah. Even Alex Anthopoulos said that's not something he envisioned in doing. It's not something you do across Major League Baseball. Freddie Gonzalez was available. Freddie Gonzalez knows the organization, and so it was an easy plug. Yeah. The Braves right now are 9-14 in one-run games this season. They're 13-20 in games decided by 1 or 2 runs. Alex Anthopoulos said those were the decisions that figured into replacing Tuiao Sopo, who was promoted from AAA after the 23 season. He replaced Ron Washington, who had been the third base coach for a while. Remember, he took the job at the Angels. So that is where we're at with the Braves. So
my biggest issue with the Braves, and I know this isn't the entire issue, my biggest issue with the Braves is the final 3 innings. Like, I understand the whole being too aggressive, right. Being too aggressive going around third base, trying to, score, and you're getting out at home plate. I get that. But at the same time, you need to secure the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning. And Rafael Iglesias has totally blown way too many saves so far this year. And yes, his ERA right now is atrocious. It's 5.64. And a lot of those blown saves in games that even the Braves have turned into wins sometimes should have never gotten to that position. The Kimbrel deal, the reason why they're keeping him down in AAA and in the minor leagues is because of the amount of options that they have with him. And so it basically, if they bring him up, they can't send him back down. Right. And he's going to automatically take a position for the remainder of the year. He is, at this point in time in his career, he is not a closer. He is a guy that should be able to bring in the 7th or 8th inning to be a hold guy that you can get it to your closer position. The biggest thing for Atlanta, and it's not the end all be all on this, but the biggest thing for Atlanta is securing the final 3 innings so that you have somebody that you can go to in those 3 innings so that you believe in that the team isn't going to press too hard. And yes, you may want to make some better decisions around third base, but at the same time, I want my guys to get to third base, which is what the Braves aren't doing right now.
Right.
Ozzie Albies at this point in time, there's a club option on him going into 2026. Honestly, the Braves shouldn't pick it up at this point in time because he's struggling. They need to be looking for a player that can be able to play the shortstop position. They have 2 tremendous catchers that they can't do, because even though with the way Sean Murphy has been hitting recently, you can go and look at his WAR. He still has one of the best WARs in the National League. And then you also have Baldwin with the way that he's playing. The problem is that you can't have both of those guys in the lineup at the same time, because you need Ozuna, who's going to be your DH, and you're not wanting to put him in left field because, oh my heavens, that man went from a Gold Glover to basically just, yakety sacks. Like, that is just crazy at how bad he went so quickly. So their biggest issue is they need to secure the back end of the bullpen. They need to secure the middle of the infield. Those are the 2 biggest needs right now for this team.
All right, so the Atlanta Braves make a coaching change. We got to get a break in, because on the other side, the Mississippi State Bulldogs, they too made a coaching change, and they got a good one. They went to Virginia to get a good baseball coach. Nobody knows it better than Steve Robertson. He's going to join us on the flip side.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. Your Fox 54 weather brought to you by Tellini's Italiano.
On a mostly sunny sky this afternoon, temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 80s, making a solid run at 90 degrees, dropping into the mid 60s through the overnight early into your Wednesday morning. A mostly to partly sunny sky Wednesday afternoon. An isolated shower is going to be possible. Otherwise, once again, temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 80s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Your Fox 54 weather, only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Your Rocket City Trash Pandas are back for 12 games in 13 days at Toyota Field, starting June 10th through the 22nd. The back-to-back homestands contain 5 giveaway nights, 4 post-game fireworks shows, 2 brand-new team identities, and the in-park debut of the number 57 Trash Pandas race car. Get your tickets for the double homestand now at TrashPandasBaseball.com.
You've seen those beautiful epoxy floors in a garage or carport area and have probably wondered, how can I get that done? Well, the answer is Lifetime Epoxy Floors. Lifetime Epoxy Floors is an A-plus rated business with the Better Business Bureau and has been family-owned for over 14 years. They do both residential and commercial applications and get most jobs done in a day. Lifetime Epoxy Floors' motto is, we love what we do, and it shows. Visit LifetimeEpoxyFloors.com to schedule a free estimate today and check them out on Facebook.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
Hi, my name is Dan Aldridge. I'm here to let you know about the Aldridge Law Firm and the soon-to-be-announced Legal Town Center. I've been practicing law in Alabama since 1984, and I also practice in Tennessee. And I'm from North Alabama, and I'm here to represent you and take care of your legal needs. For many of us, hiring an attorney is not high on the priority list and maybe a little scary, but it's something that we all need at some point. So by all means, do your homework. And if you need representation for car accident, wrongful death, medical malpractice, nursing home abuse, or estate planning, or any other matter, just give us a call at 256-534-3188. And you can email me at Dan, that is Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. God bless America.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. Weekdays from 5 to 7 p.m. Only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
All right, welcome back. 8:35 on a Tuesday morning. Scott Tyson, Joe Hunk. Joe Hunk sitting in for Drew DeArmond, who is on his way to Summer League basketball. We've got a little baseball to talk about. The Mississippi State Bulldogs have made a coaching change, and Chris Lemonis, midway through the season, was relieved of his head coaching duties there at Mississippi State. Mississippi State does make it to the regional final. They fall against Florida State. But as soon as the out was done, man, Mississippi State, they did not waste any time in making their hire. And to help us talk about that, there's only one man that really knows what's going on there in Mississippi State, and he's joined us a bunch. It's Steve Robertson from genespage.com, part of the 24/7 Sports Network. And nobody does Mississippi State better than Steve Robertson, and he's kind enough to join us this morning. Steve, good morning. You are with Scott and Joe this morning.
Yeah, I don't know how Drew managed to get a day off this time of year.
It's weird because
it's good to be with you guys.
He sat in for the first hour, and then he left for the second hour.
It's good work if you can get it right.
60 minutes and then go.
It's amazing.
Yeah, awesome.
Well, and Steve, let's talk about this. And we were talking about it during the break. This was and I believe you called it a historic hire. If this was college football, I mean, this would be all over national news networks and everything. I mean, guy that's won a national title and gone to 7 World Series is making the move from Virginia to Mississippi State.
Yeah, it is. You don't see the blockbuster move very often in college baseball, and it's become a little more regular, I guess you'd say. Jay Johnson leaving Arizona for LSU maybe kind of flew under the radar of a lot of people just because they didn't maybe know who Jay Johnson was. But, Jay played for a national title in 2016 as the skipper of the Arizona Wildcats. And so it was kind of a smart move. And people in college baseball, when that happened, is, yeah, this is a really good thing for LSU. Well, then he rewards them with a national championship. But that was one of those things that didn't really raise a lot of eyebrows, just because, especially in the South, people just didn't pay a lot of attention to Pac-12 baseball. But, last year, because of the nature of the rivalry between Texas and Texas A&M, to poach A&M's coach hours after they were a swing away from winning a national championship is probably one of the greatest rivalry villain moves ever. And so it made a lot of headlines, but it also made a lot of sense because of the connections between administration at Texas and Jim Schlossnagle. And so while it raised some eyebrows, people were able to explain that. This is a little different in that respect because there's no pre-existing relationship. And Virginia has been a mainstay in Omaha. They've been with 3 of the last 4 years, I guess. And now Mississippi State goes in and takes their coach, and it's a coach they wanted to keep. So it's not like they get him by default. This is a scenario where he simply was lured into coming to Mississippi State and being a skipper of the Bulldogs.
I'm curious about the announcement itself because we're sitting and we're thinking, like, did this just, you go to the press conference and say, yeah, it sucks that we lost, but by the way, we'd like to make the announcement that we're here. Like, how did this happen so quickly after Mississippi State was eliminated?
Well, number one, the deal was already done.
Yeah.
And, that was kind of the talk from the administration even last week as this thing began to kind of bubble up, and it looked like it was going to be a probability more so than a possibility. And, Zach Selman himself had said that we want to respect our team. We don't want to make an announcement until we're done playing. And then you start facing the prospect, well, what if you win the regional in Tallahassee? If some people are like, well, we probably need to go ahead and do it with the portal opening on Monday. So Selman and staff were on location in Tallahassee and throughout the weekend. And so shortly after the game went final, they informed the team, and that was important for them, the team find out officially from Mississippi State rather than read about it, on their phones when they're, on their way back to Starkville, or back to the hotel or wherever they were headed that night. But yeah, it all happened rather quickly. I got a message and said, hey, how are you guys ready to go? And I'm like, yeah, we've been ready for a week. And it goes, okay, it's probably going to happen within the hour. And so we were ready to go, and it was big news, and it kind of takes the sting off of that loss a little bit. And I think in that respect too, it's a savvy move by the administration to go ahead and get it out there, because now all of a sudden there's a tremendous amount of optimism. And this Thursday we're going to have that presentation of the coach at Duty Noble Field. They're expecting thousands of people to be there for that.
Well, and O'Connor too, you mentioned his staff. He is bringing a majority of his staff from Virginia to Mississippi State.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that was one of the things that early on that we were concerned about is, like, if O'Connor comes, do they just promote Mac, their UVA? Do they keep him? Do we just kind of get O'Connor and a couple of, second level staffers, or do we get the whole thing? And then as this process began to kind of develop, we were told that, no, he's probably going to bring the entire staff. And then he said, well, maybe not going to bring the pitching coach, but going to bring everybody else and then, hire a pitching coach. And that's kind of where we are right now. And it's not just the on-the-field staff. He's bringing a lot of his support staff and, people that are involved with ops and things of that nature. And so basically what you're having is kind of the best of the Virginia baseball program is kind of coming in here to Mississippi State. They had, I think, 7 players hit the portal yesterday. Some of those guys will wind up in maroon and white, but not all of them. But things are changing very quickly. Since the game ended against Florida State, you've already made that announcement. You've already got them on campus. They're already starting to do social media stuff of O'Connor in a maroon M over S polo. And in addition to that, you got exit meetings with players today and tomorrow. And so it's been a very busy 48 hours for all involved.
Yeah, you were right. Seven players have entered the transfer portal, and the biggest name in that right now could be arguably Henry Ford. And the question does lie is basically, was this all connected, not just with him, but also somebody like I believe it's Nunnally, I believe is how you pronounce it, the outfielder that was a freshman last year. Like, those are two players that you can go, yeah, these guys would be nice on this roster.
Yeah, and it would be interesting to see how many of them actually come. Some are going to leave just because of the fact that their coach is gone. They may not follow their coach. They may just want a fresh start. Maybe they get closer to home, but you mentioned Ford. I mean, he's a guy that's likely going to get drafted, and so he goes in the portal, and I know it makes some headlines, and he may actually, commit to Mississippi State, but there's a really good chance that he ends up being drafted high enough to sign. And so, Blanco is a guy that's kind of interesting, Arroyo is a guy that's, played some at first base and pitched a little bit. And so, it's going to be interesting for us. You work with the same coaches, day in, day out for so many years, and you kind of know how they operate. We've got a brand new staff. We, don't even know who to call, right? I mean, it's just like it all happens so quickly. It'll take some time for us to build those relationships. So we look forward to covering Bryan, and had a chance to meet him last year at the Charlottesville, Virginia regional. And, and it's interesting. Some people have said, well, I just wonder how much fire, what does he have left in the tank? Guys, he's like 54 years old. I mean, he's like 18 months older than I am. I can promise you, I got plenty of fire left. And not to mention, he's actually younger than Chris Lamona by about a year, and so people look at the gray hair, and they don't always know what's under the hood,
Yeah. So last night, and I know we were kind of watching it, but Tennessee falls to Wake Forest. Is there, I think we're seeing a lot of speculation maybe that Wake Forest's pitching coach might be on that short list there to head to Starkville.
Well, Tennessee actually won that thing.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, Tennessee wins. My bad. I mean, yes.
Yeah.
I know.
So, Corey Mascara is a guy that's been connected to this whole Brian O'Connor Mississippi State courtship for a few days now. And so, yes, that is a possibility. Tom Walter was actually asked about it on Friday following their NCAA regional play out there in Knoxville. But, we still think that's a very good probability. But, of course, if things don't go the way you expect them to, Justin Parker is still here, and I feel confident that he would want to stay on if given the opportunity. So, State, there's really no loss there for State. You get Corey Mascara, who was considered kind of a mad scientist of pitching coaches, or you get Justin Parker, one of the best pitching coaches in the country, to stay on. So there's just no loss there for State, no matter how this thing goes.
How good? I mean, you got to give Justin Parker a hand for stabilizing, I guess, the ship midway through this year, right?
Yeah, and so we really felt like down the stretch, those last three SEC weekends, that State was going to be okay. Kentucky never plays good here. Lamona and Mississippi State have owned Ole Miss for the last decade. And then you go on the road to play a Missouri team that set an NCAA SEC record in futility this year. They go 3-27. And so you really felt like, really, no matter who was filling out the lineup card, this team was capable of making a run. But you make the announcement you're going to relieve Chris Simonos of his duties, and this team could have packed it in. They could say, you know what, this is it, But Parker and Jake Gautreaux and Kyle Cheesebro, that entire staff, they all worked hard together to make something of this season. And then you sweep Kentucky, who made the tournament. You win 2 out of 3 against Ole Miss, who hosted a regional. And then you go up there and sweep Missouri, and you put yourself in a good position to finish 500 in the league, which almost always gets you in. And so there's a debt of gratitude owed to those men and those players that worked tirelessly to salvage something from a year that was a little bit under expectations. A lot of people thought State would be in the hosting discussion, and then you get off to the worst SEC start in school history and still manage to make a regional. And those are difficult circumstances. And I'll be a Justin Parker fan whether he stays here or goes somewhere else. There's a lot that I'm very grateful for him for.
With O'Connor coming in, this is, again, you talked about at the beginning how big of a move this is, and how this have some ears perking up. And we look at this landscape of college athletics, we know that football gets a lot of the priority. We know that basketball is that, but Mississippi State's, it's a different animal when it comes to college baseball. I mean, it's one of the best atmospheres in all of college baseball. with this and with the NIL and the Bulldog Initiative and all this, what is it and what is the university saying to O'Connor that's saying, look, we are committed to putting together something, you and I, that we can win a national championship in baseball. We are fully focused on making that dream actually take place where everybody else is focusing on football and or basketball.
Well, you got to take care of football because football takes care of everything
Absolutely.
else. That's your biggest revenue driver in all of this. But Mississippi State has always been a baseball school. And I would say in recent years, we may have lost a little bit of our identity in that respect. I mean, we won an Apple championship in 2021. But the reality of it is, and I'm a Bulldog, so I can say this, but Mississippi State, despite all of the milestones and all the attendance records, Mississippi State has underachieved in the postseason much of its history, despite the fact you went to Omaha 12 times. When you consider the financial commitment and the fan level of interest, I don't know that Mississippi State fans have been maybe properly rewarded for their emotional investment, not to mention their financial investment. And I think this is one of those moments, maybe not just at Mississippi State, but kind of in college baseball, that Mississippi State has said, you know what, we are absolutely serious about being a baseball school, and we're going to commit more resources to this, and we're going to go make a power move. And this is very much a power move. But I had someone share with me during the week last week that Dr. Mark Keenum, someone asked him, you know, who are we going to hire? And Coach said, or Doc said, we're going to hire the coach that our facilities, our fans, and our players deserve. And that's exactly what they've done. They've gone out and really kind of thrown their weight around to get Bryan O'Connor, a sitting Hall of Fame coach, to come to Starkville.
That's awesome. I mean, that's big time. I mean, and that's what the fans want, and that's what the fans, I guess, deserve to have there in Starkville. Steve, thank you so much for joining us. Let everybody know how they can find you and your books.
Well, I'm on all forms of social media at Scout Steve R. And 6 of my 7 titles. You can go to dutynoblebook.com and you can order from there. Thanks so much for the time, guys.
All right, thanks. Steve Robertson, kind enough to join us. If there's anybody that knows about Mississippi State, it's Steve Robertson. Let's get that final break in. Your tomorrow's headlines will wrap us up next.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
The company is Eagle Masonry and Insulation, but did you know they're also Eagle Landscaping and Dirt Work? Eagle can take care of all your landscaping needs, including irrigation, sod work, and planting, both plants and trees. On the dirt work side, Eagle can grade and build your pads, haul dirt in or out, and even do erosion control. Philip Love and his team can do it all for you. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Are you tired of chasing a roofing contractor to show up on time or even show up at all? I'm Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Our motto at Fleming Roofing is we show up. Our goal at Fleming Roofing is to provide the reliable customer service that you deserve. And we have the resources to meet all of your roofing needs, residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. We are manufacturer certified for roof coatings, single ply membranes, and asphalt shingles. Whenever you need a roofing professional you can count on, call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We are committed to finding the solution that meets your needs. We don't have quotas or heavy-handed sales tactics. Fleming Roofing, we have expert experience. We show up. Free estimates. Residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. Check us out at FlemingHSV.com. FlemingHSV.com. When you need a quick response, it's Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Ford Motor Company. From America, for America. Hi, folks. Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford with a real quick quiz. Out of all the manufacturers, do you know which auto company employs the most hourly workers in America? Ford. Do you know which company assembles the most vehicles in this country? Ford. That's not just a coincidence. It's a commitment. A 120-year-old commitment to build in America for America. And during this unprecedented moment in automotive history, you stand to benefit big time. Woody Anderson Ford is now offering employee pricing. You pay what we pay. We've got over 190 F-150s for you to choose from with generous finance rates and the best deals of the year on America's best-selling truck for 48 years in a row. Employee pricing can save you thousands off MSRP, and with over 600 Fords for you to choose from, there's a good chance you'll find just exactly what you're looking for. This offer ends May 31st, so hurry in. Woody Anderson Ford.
Rocket City, for air that's cool and clean, contact Sensa Green Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Get HVAC smart with Professor Green and the expert team at sensagreen.com. Now offering up to $1,500 off any new Bryant system. Whatever it takes, Sensa Green has Huntsville covered. Remember, folks, with innovative, sensible green solutions, contact Sensa Green Heating, Cooling, and Insulation.
This segment of Talkin' Ball is brought to you by University Kia, the #1 volume Kia dealer in the state of Alabama. Located online at universitykia.com.
It's time for tomorrow's headlines today with Scott Theisen and Drew DeArmond on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
The National Football Foundation, the College Football Hall of Fame ballot for 2026 released yesterday. 79 players, 9 coaches from the football subdivision, 100 players and 35 coaches from the divisional ranks all on the ballot. Now, here's how it works. 12,000 NFF members, National Football Foundation members, and current Hall of Famers. They will tabulate their votes, and they will select the class. Now, on the ballot, this is when I wish the one Drew DeArmond was still here. On the ballot for this year, Mark Ingram is on the ballot. D'Amico Ryans is on the ballot. A couple of big-time names there for Alabama. Cam Newton is on the ballot representing Auburn. Takeo Spikes is on the ballot representing Auburn. Tommy Tuberville is on the ballot.
You mean the future governor of the state of Alabama?
Yes. And the one, the only, Dennis Francione is on the ballot, or Fran Phony, as he is nicknamed on the show, is on the ballot for the College Football Hall of Fame.
Ryan Leaf is there too, but I mean, I know you're just focusing on Alabama, Auburn. Ryan Leaf's on there.
There's some other big time names on there. Flozell Adams, Morton Anderson, by the way, is on the ballot. Morton Anderson, big time place kicker. I mean, gosh, I don't know how many years he was in the NFL.
Sebastian Janikowski is on
Eric
there.
Bieniemy. I wonder if his name is his number retired at Colorado? Eric Bieniemy.
Is he related to Deion Sanders? Then the answer is no.
By the way, Des Bryant is on the ballot for Oklahoma State. There are some big time names on there. Dallas Clark and Brad Banks representing Iowa on the ballot. Big time names. Ken Dorsey is on there. Troy Edwards.
Ndamukong Suh.
Yeah. Big time names. Robert Griffin III, Baylor quarterback, is on that list. But anyway, they have until July to send all their votes in.
Is there a limit? Like, is there a number of guys that
trying to see what they have to have?
That's the worst question at the worst possible time.
I was trying to find out like the ballot or whatever, what they have to get in there. Only, let's see, 1,100 players have earned induction into the College Football Hall of Fame, or less than 200%.
I love you.
I'm here with Thomas from Talent Heating and Air. With the temperatures going up and temperatures going down right now is a good time to get your heating and air system looked at. Thomas, when somebody calls, you guys answer.
That's right.